Hey everybody, coming at you to talk about a little something about our brand new freaking head coach Brent Key. Okay, he is he's doing a great job so far, in my opinion. I think that the Brent Key era so far is working. I think that everything that we have talked about as far as advantages and whatnot for hiring Brent Key is coming to fruition. Okay, so how about first of all, you got continuity, right? Continuity was one of the pros of Brent Key, because he was going to be able to prevent a lot of players from transferring out, and that has come true. We've only had two players. One of them was transferring anyway, Jeff Sims. The other player, Nate McCollum, is leaving. Yes, that hurts. But he's chasing, he's exceptional and had a great year, and he's chasing an NIL opportunity, okay? And besides, he isn't transferred anywhere, so it is possible he comes back. We're hoping for that. However, other than that, we haven't had any notable players transfer out. Yes, we have freaking survived so long, okay, now into the transfer portal season. And I was kind of, when transfer portal day came around, I was like, ugh. I was kind of expecting the bad news and everything, and a bunch of players to transfer out. But it seems like this is real. The support and like the love for Brent Key and everything that we saw during the season, it was real. Okay, the players. They wanted Brent Key as head coach. They got it, and they're sticking with him, and they believe in him, and we're building this thing up. And everybody was talking about the transfer portal this year and just how insane it was going to be, right? And how crazy the portal was going to be, because you're going to have so many players entering the portal, and we do. There's like over 1,000 kids in the portal right now. Okay, and for Georgia Tech to only have two players of note, there's like six maybe total, but the rest are backups, like that didn't get playing time. For only two players of note to be in the portal on a 5-7, it is what it is. I mean, we're a 5-7 team, is absolutely huge, and I think Brent Key has done a great job so far at keeping the players. Another thing I wanted to talk about. Another advantage was of hiring Brent Key was the contract, okay? So the details of his contract came out a few days ago, and I was looking at it, and I couldn't believe it! Okay? A contract that is good for Georgia Tech. It seems like these contracts that the Georgia Tech athletic department or whatever signs for these head coaches do not favor the freaking the school whatsoever, okay? And this one actually did, because, I mean, this is great. This is how it should be, because you know who you have hired, which is an unproven coach, a position coach, and, no head coaching experience. I think he was an OC for like one season, okay? So that is kind of, kind of what you're getting with Brent Key. You know what he's worth. You know that he's not going to, he's not being looked at for any other jobs. And, okay, so you give him a deal that is appropriate for that type of coach. And not besmirching Brent Key or anything. He's done a hell of a job. But we kind of knew that we could, Brent Key has a genuine love for this place. And we didn't have to pay him $6 million to be our coach, like some other people, like Bill O'Brien wanted this insane contract, and we weren't willing to pay it. So we didn't have to do that for Brent Key, because he wanted to be the coach here, and so the contract favors the school. It's great. It's amazing, and that being able to pay Brent Key less. This is what people were talking about when we were considering Brent Key as head coach before he had actually got the job. What you can do now with that money that you save on the head coaching position is pay more for coordinators. And that is what we've been able to do. He's had more money for some, to make good hires on the staff. And I think he has made good hires, in the Staff. So I am totally stoked on that. This is great. We got Buster Faulkner at OC now. They're hitting the ground running. He has also made. I didn't make a video on this, but he has also made an offensive line coach hire. His name is Jeep, but it's spelled Geep. So, Geep. Well, his name's Jeep, but calling him Geep is so much funnier, so I'm definitely going to just do that. So Geep Wade, our offensive line coach, as we grabbed him from App State, and he has come in here, and, dude, I'm talking about a flood of offensive line recruitment pictures and everything. I mean, he went crazy with the offensive line recruitment, and so it's really great. It is. Brent Key, this kind of tells me Brent Key realizes that there still is a problem, because one of the huge detractions from Brent Key, okay, and even I had this, I was really impressed with Brent Key and what he had done so far, but there was this one nagging kind of thing, okay? Brent Key did great as the interim head coach, but his offensive line, the unit he was in charge of, has been our worst unit the entirety of the Jeff Collins era. And I've said this multiple times. I give a lot of leeway. I give, a lot of time, because that is a tough position to rebuild from the triple option. And I knew it wasn't going to be easy. It was going to be very slow, and he's trying to build that up. And also this year, our offensive line composed entirely of freshmen and sophomores. So I realized this was going to be a slow kind of thing, but it was still there, and it was still a concern that I had, and it was still something that, I was like, but his offensive line, though, it hasn't been great. But look, he's hitting the recruiting hard with offensive line. I mean, he is going crazy with, there's constantly pictures on Twitter appearing of him recruiting offensive linemen. It's been, I haven't seen any other position, which of course you need to recruit other positions, but he's starting with offensive line, which is important, because it shows to me that he is for real and what he was saying about playing fundamental football. It all starts with the offensive line, and there's no scheme, there's no trickery you can do to get around having a bad offensive line. I mean, we've skated by without it for years, but we're winning 3 freaking games, okay? So he knows that that's a problem. He's attacking it, and I have all the confidence in the world that we're going to have a great offensive line going forward. Next year might be a little shaky, but as far as for the future, I really like where it's going for the offensive line. So, look, in my opinion, Brent Key has done a great job. Now that he's hired an OC, we're finally starting to see transfers coming in, and we're starting to see, get the ball rolling on that. We still have a couple hires to make, as far as we need a wide receivers coach and a running backs coach. And those are very important, okay? Especially, in my opinion, running backs. We have some great wide receivers already that I'm confident in that can get the job done next year. But our running back situation is pretty dire. We have no head coach. We have no running backs coach. The running backs coach that we hired last year, left in the middle of the season. Nobody knows if he left or was fired. There was no details. It was all very hush-hush. It was a weird situation. But he's gone, and we need a running backs coach. And so that is one thing that I have that I am concerned about. But in my opinion, I think Brent Key has done a great job so far. He's retained the roster we've had. We got a good contract from him, and he's really shoring up this offensive line. So that's great to me, because once you get the offensive line settled and recruited and built into having a good offensive line, that makes you rely less on quarterbacks, okay? Because we saw what happened when you don't have a quarterback like Jeff Sims, who can scramble and run around and make plays happen, when you bring in Zach Gibson, who was not a scrambling quarterback. He didn't have good pocket awareness and stuff like that, and our offense just completely shut down. So it is really great to me that Brent Key's doing that. He's doing a great job, and hell yeah, go Brent Key, and go Jackets, and I'll see you guys next time.